time period is up, the leader has a few options. The leader can debrief, identifying themes, conclusions, or next steps, or if the outcomes are not fully apparent, the meeting can end for now. And then the meeting leader can take some time to go through the document, see what emerged, and circle back with attendees. But altogether, silence is an amazing opportunity to build an incredibly inclusive meeting. All right, end of meetings. So we have 4 + 4 tips. So it only makes sense that we round this out with 2 more tips. End meetings well. With a few minutes left, be sure to clarify takeaways. Inclusion means little if what was decided on by the collective does not get acted on. This is important for all meetings, but especially virtual meetings given shorter attention spans. For each takeaway, identify the DRI. And this is Apple talk for directly responsible individual. Attach that to each action item. Don't let anyone leave your meeting wondering what was accomplished and next steps. One final piece of advice. I get asked a lot in various media interviews, what's the best piece of advice in making meetings better? And candidly, I would struggle with this. Clearly, the science does not suggest any magic bullet. But now I have an answer that stays true to the science and is a great way to end this little talk, as it's so critical to creating inclusive meetings. The best way to make your meetings better and more inclusive is to ask people who regularly attend your meetings how the meetings are going. Send out a quick survey every once in a while where people can indicate what's going well, not so well, and ideas for improvement, and ideas for making them more inclusive. Then learn, reflect, and try some new things. I'll say this, asking people for their input, well, this is the ultimate act of stewardship. So is it possible to achieve meeting perfection? Probably not. But with intentionality, you can turn your meetings into efficient, engaging, and inclusive events. And while you can't control others' meetings, you do control your own. You can make excellent meeting choices. You can demonstrate stewardship. You can be the example that you hope others will follow in promoting inclusion. Each meeting is your opportunity to enact inclusive values. Each meeting is your opportunity to do your small part on promoting inclusion. So let's commit to fixing our meetings and making them more inclusive, one meeting at a time. And with that, I'm going to pause. And we've got around 8 minutes for some Q&A. So I look forward to answering any questions you might have.
I know Steve is reading these.
Okay, so
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You want me just to jump right into what I see in chat? Is that what you're thinking, Brittany?
If you want, or I can read them out to you if you'd like.
No big deal. I can. So, okay, now they're flying. So someone asked to repeat the apps you mentioned. There's a new app called Shuffleboard. I really like it. I think it's really easy to use. There's another one called Miro, like a Miro board, but Shuffleboard is actually easier, but it's kind of similar. I love the stuff that Klaxoon offers for meeting apps. But you can also use a shared document using Google. So you have options, but they're great. I mean, there's just another way of adding some dimensionality to your meetings and really drawing folks in. Okay.
What's the DRI acronym again?
Directly responsible individual. So a year into COVID, we've not promoted video meetings. Is it too late to start? No, it's never too late to start. It's never too late to kind of do the right thing and what's needed. But I will say this, the best meeting leaders use a variety of approaches with their team, right? You don't have to do the same thing all the time. So you can have video-based meetings, but I'm also really high on one-on-one meetings taking place via a telephone and taking a walk. So try different things, right? So try silence, but don't do it all the time. Basically what's incredible about this 100 million meetings a day across the globe is they almost all look the same. And that's where the fatigue comes in. If we mix it up, fatigue doesn't seem to happen nearly as readily. All right. Can you remind me of the first tip before frame agenda as questions? No, because I'm not using slides, so I don't remember what I said. But this is going to be recorded, so you'll be able to get access to the video. But no, I don't remember exactly what I said before that.
We addressed that later on in the chat about inclusion does not mean bigger meetings. So
yes.
And yeah, we'll send the recording, but there's also a question in the Q&A. Is there a way you'd approach an exec level meeting versus a lower in the organization meeting in terms of who arrives or any other best practices?
Ideally, the answer is no. Because what we want culturally, right now, meetings with the most senior level people, people tend to be much more intentional. I just want that same discipline to actually extend to people whose time isn't as expensive. So that's the ideal. And with practice, it's just not hard to be intentional. If you think about all the things I named, it doesn't take much time at all. Mm-hmm. So I would rather have a cultural statement, where senior leaders basically say, listen, we want to elevate this topic of meetings, right? I'm tired of people just complaining about meetings, right? Meetings are an opportunity for us to actually promote inclusion, for us to actually